The linear take, make, dispose approach to goods and services that drives the global economy has increased our quality of life and convenience, but has also had a significant impact on the plastic waste generated. Recent estimates indicate that over 300 million tons of plastic are produced annually. Of all the plastic produced and put on the market since 1950, only 7% has so far been recycled. Although recycling rates have been increasing in the recent years in many countries, the plastic economy is far from circular. Indeed, the vast majority of plastic is still being discarded, at least 12 million tons per year leaking into the ocean. Circular economy moves away from the linear take, make, dispose approach. Instead, it rethinks the system, minimizing the loss of resources and extending the product's life. Measures to address circularity need to include multi-stakeholder collaborations, including community. Local initiatives focused on waste management bring their own contribution to circular economy. They move away from circular economy focused on the plastics industry and address other stakeholders and stages of the plastic cycle. To support the contribution of local initiatives to circular economy, the International Union for Conservation of Nature has selected initiatives to become part of the Marine Plastics and Coastal Communities project. Initiated at the end of 2017, the project's goal is to reduce the amount of plastic pollution leaking into the marine environment in the 5 target countries. To achieve it, MARPLASTICCs works on 4 interconnected pillars: knowledge, capacity, policy, and business. The capacity pillar seeks to strengthen the capacity of local and regional actions to control plastic pollution. As part of this component, IUCN has been supporting 5 existing small-scale circular economy initiatives through a system of grants in Kenya, Mozambique, South Africa, Thailand, and Vietnam. All selected initiatives connect on many levels as they have the same goal: to reduce plastic leakage into the marine environment.
Watomo Marine Association started this project 10 years ago as a beach cleanup initiative. We then worked together with the local community groups and the local hotels industry to create a dynamic plastic recycling value chain. And how we did that, how we achieved that, was by the hotels sponsoring the beach cleaners and at the same time providing freely their plastic waste for recycling. So this was the beginning of a real circular economy enterprise, resulting in benefits on a number of socio-economic and environmental levels. Firstly, we had the beach cleaners getting an income. Second, we had the recyclers getting jobs and an income from recycling the plastic waste. And then the clear environmental benefits by removing beach litter and extracting plastic and marine litter from the ocean, and on the other side, diverting that huge volume of plastic waste from going to landfill to be recycled.
I think the major key impact that we've really experienced through this funding that we've got from IUCN MARPLASTICCs is the purchase of a truck, which has now enabled us to expand our activities to other towns and enabled us to reach beaches that initially we could not. And we also managed to purchase a machine, an injection molder, and with that, initially we used to depend on donors to help us fund our regular beach cleanups, but with this injection molder, we can take the plastic that we collect from our beaches, crush it, turn it into a either a fridge magnet or a keychain that we sell to the tourists, and the money that we get from there pay the community members to do the cleanup. So it helps the whole project to be sustainable. Through the funding again that we've got from IUCN, we are able to do training for community members on how they can make upcycled products from keychains, bracelets, made from fishing gears, and with that again they can sell that and be able to get some extra sources of income. We have also been able to train community members on how they can use plastic bottles, water bottles, to make building blocks that they can use in their own buildings, and this one we call upcycled buildings. We've also managed to train community members on the different kinds of plastic that they can sell, so that we're actually trying to show them the value of plastic and try and set up a new initiative known as Weigh and Pay, which is actually running right now, whereby community members bring us hard plastic after they've been trained thoroughly on what kind of plastic we can buy. Then from there we pay them for it, and in that way we don't have to pay people to go and do regular beach cleanups, but they in return will feel motivated to go and do this cleanup themselves, to get the plastic, sell it to us, and the money that we get from there we plow it back to buy more and more plastic. So again, keeping the whole project sustainable. We also did art installations, and that's my favorite, because community members are now able to see and learn from just waste, just the everyday waste that they throw away, transformed into a beautiful art piece, a turtle, plastic water bottles, and see the value of these things, when it's not just scattered aimlessly in the environment.
So as a result of COVID pandemic, most of the hotels within Watamu were shut down. Therefore, we lost a great volume of plastic waste coming into EcoWorld from the hotels. In response to this challenge, we were able to set up a COVID-19 relief project, whereby we issued a call to friends of Watamu, and we managed to raise a total of $10,000, which was channeled towards sponsoring beach cleanups in Watamu. So the project was a success in that we were able to offer employment to 1,000 people, especially those who had lost their jobs due to the pandemic. And for the environment, we were able to remove an incredible 27 tons of marine litter, therefore reducing the amount of waste that had started accumulating on our beaches. Another challenge is that we are not able to carry out the stakeholder meeting, especially with the county government, to discuss on how to develop circular economy within the county. But on a positive, we were able to mobilize community groups in Malindi and Kilifi, and we were able to set up plastic collection points in both towns.
Impact measurement is key for project managers. It allows them to identify the impact they generate on the ground so they can manage it more properly and communicate it more efficiently. Impact Track is a solution that facilitates the whole process of impact measurement via a web platform and an online training. We supported all MARPLASTIC projects in the implementation of their impact management system. All along the process, from the identification of the key stakeholders, the description of their activities and how they generate impact, the selection of the indicators, the data collection, and the creation of an impact report. The impact report is what we call impact page. The impact page contains the main information of the project's impact on the ground, which is the mission of the project, who the project impacts, and how much impact the project generates. The Kilifi County Circular Economy Enterprise project is a very interesting project because they generate a significant social, environmental, and economic impact. The social aspect, it's mainly related to the local artists and to the waste pickers. The economic part is related to the inflows the project brings to the local circular economy and to the ecosystem improved that favors the local tourism. And the environmental part is of course related to the plastic reduction, mainly in the Watamu Marine Protected Area.
Turtle-based collaboration with EcoWorld has been beneficial in three main areas. One, we have seen more and more of plastic being recycled at the site, which means less of this plastic ending up at the county government disposal site. Two, we have seen enhanced CSR happening between us and EcoWorld, which means that more and more people being engaged into the activity of collecting and recycling these plastics. And the third one, I would say that more and many guests who are coming here are now willing to get out into a new tourism circuit where they visit the EcoWorld and proceed to Crab Shack, which is in Dabaso. Others would definitely end up at the snake farm in Sida. So by doing these activities, more people get to know what happens within the community and also participate in ecotourism, because I think and I believe that is a form of preservation, and that's what ecotourism mainly deals with.
Whilst circular economy is often centered around actions undertaken by businesses, the involvement of various types of stakeholders, as well as the collaboration between them, is essential to address the entire plastic cycle. This can mean raising awareness to mitigate the use of single-use plastic items, collaborating with government authorities on sustainable waste management practices, working with businesses on the recyclability of products, or engaging communities in waste entrepreneurship.
Since 3R was founded in 2014, our idea, our wish was to transform the sector, right? To make the sector more sustainable. But when you talk about transforming a sector, you need regulation. You need a framework to support that. Since 2014, 3R has been working with the Ministry of Land and Environment on regulations that could strengthen this sector. The main achievement of this period was the approval of the EPR regulation in December 2017. This decree, it includes a tax, an environmental tax, that will come from this material that is distributed in Mozambique and will be used to support initiatives related to recycling, segregation at source, environmental awareness related to waste. So all of this is extremely important. We work with the Ministry of Land and Environment. We work with plastic recyclers in Mozambique and abroad. So there is a lot of people involved. And our idea, especially in this project, was to potentialize each one of these stakeholders and their actions. For example, when we talk about our relationship with Parco, that is our partner to implement the project in Vilanculos, the NGO. Before, they were already doing a great job doing beach cleaning, but this material had no value locally. So this material ended up in the dump site, what was already good because it was not laying around, or it ended up being stocked, right? And it wouldn't reach a final destination, it wouldn't be recycled. So that's what we are doing now, right? We are potentializing what they were doing before, as well as they are making the link between 3R and the community. COVID had a big impact at 3R, especially in Vilanculos, because Vilanculos is a touristic city. And our clients there, as a private company, they were mainly hotels and lodges. And what happened? They had to close their doors for months. And during this period, they didn't need waste collection, right? So then we didn't have clients. Like, our revenue dropped in 50%. So this was a big hit for us. Another problem was the oil prices, because the oil prices came down. And this means that when the oil price is down, the virgin material is cheaper to produce plastics. And then producing products from recycled plastics becomes more expensive. The markets went down for recycled plastics. Also, there were border closing, and then how part of our material goes abroad, right? We send plastics abroad. So how are we going to send this material with borders closed and permits not being issued, and etc.?
Often, in developing economies, the most urgent short-term solution to minimizing plastic waste leakage is likely to be the implementation of waste separation at source, increased collection and transport infrastructure, and its safe processing, treatment, and management. Focusing on waste management actually presents an opportunity for greater involvement of communities in the circular economy, which is often still disregarded in practice.
We have this great project that we're doing right now in partnership with 3R, where they are helping us buy bottles from the community, and this is making an immense difference in the community. For years we've been talking about cleaning up litter. We've had World Cleanup Day challenges, we've had World Oceans Day challenges, and we're always encouraging people to understand the difference between organic waste and inorganic waste, and that plastic is going to stay around in the environment for a long time if we don't do something about it. But this year we finally got a solution where we are now dealing with the problem in an incentivized way, with a market-based solution that people are actually bringing their plastic here, they're taking away a little bit of money for it, and it's cleaning up Villankuluj and providing income to marginally employed people or unemployed people. That's making a really big difference in this community, and we're so excited to be doing this project, and we hope that we can carry on for many more months.
And the Blueport team is made up of 50 youth members, which are between the ages of 18 and 26. In the program, you get a chance to learn more stuff than working. It's more or less where you get a chance to learn how to handle money, or how to create a CV, how to actually sharpen your skills. And I was fortunate enough to study as a skipper. And part of the 1 year, I was also fortunate, I would say more than fortunate, to be able to be hired by the same company that taught me to be a skipper. Unfortunately, because of COVID-19, we had to cut down the scale of the team. So now we're working with less people, of which there are less hands on deck. So now we're restricted in terms of that we can't visit more sites due to the regulations that are going about.
Some of the awareness creating actions that the Blueport project has done so far is we created an app. The aim of the app is to engage with other stakeholders in the port, even allow some sort of buy-in from this app. For example, the public can take a picture of waste concentrated in an area in the port, or if there's a spill and they send the picture to us or on the app, and then we'll be able to go and send out a team there. So we also have a social media platform called Waste Uprising. This provides South Africans with unbiased opinions of figures and facts of the current waste that's being produced or out there in South Africa at the moment. Whatever can be recycled is recycled, and whatever can't, such as multi-layer plastic, is then mixed with crushed glass, and then it's used to create an ocean paper. The ocean papers are made with entirely of unrecycled plastic and crushed glass. No water or sand is used to make them. These pavers will then be used in and around the port to create pathways. We're also going to be giving them to our partner projects, which is Oceans Alive, and it's going to be used to create community hubs in Isimangaliso.
The Blueport project actually started in 2019 with the ultimate goal of progressively cleaning up the Durban port. So the Durban port is currently a highly degraded system, but it's also a very important system in estuary. And so our goal was to clean up this historical buildup of waste over the number of years that had been building up in the different systems of the port. We did this through the employment of over 50 youth that lived around the area that actively cleaned up the waste every day. And our goal was to get that historical buildup out so that we could start monitoring and tracking the waste that comes in every day. In addition to the active cleanup, we also have passive interventions like the boom and the containment structure that trap the waste and make it easier for us to collect the waste. Over the last year, we've cleaned over 50,000 kilograms of waste, including plastic floating waste, out of the port. It is then sent to our depot to either be recycled or upcycled into the ocean pavers. Our long-term goal for the Blueport project is, however, to identify sustainable solutions to the waste that's coming into the port. And so we understand that to do that, we need to go right to the source. And we need to move up into the catchments and understand where these hotspot areas of entry points of pollution are, what the key issues are in the communities that live adjacent to the catchment, and how we can work collaboratively with the public and private sector and government to identify sustainable long-term solutions. One of the ways that we're identifying and monitoring the waste that's coming in from the catchments is to work strategically with partners that are working in different areas of the catchments, and placing camera systems that can actually track and monitor all the waste that's coming down from the catchment and entering the port. And through this, we'll be able to actually get a real value of how much we are trapping and how much is being leaked into the marine environment.
Community-based initiatives can be an effective way to contribute to greater circularity by filling the social equity gap currently prevailing in the circular economy. Whilst circular economy certainly requires strategies to improve business circularity, the participation and engagement of local citizens may play an equal role in other stages of the plastic cycle. In fact, coastal communities certainly are amongst the first affected by marine plastic pollution. Directly impacted by the waste landing on their beaches, coastal citizens have a real incentive to act. Engaging them in circular economy projects not only provides them with a source of livelihood, it may also increase their awareness and knowledge of plastic pollution in the long term, whilst contributing to improved local waste management practices. Most circular economy frameworks focus on the business perspective and fail to address the entire plastic cycle. This perspective has led to the design of 6 principles for successful community-based initiatives in the context of the circular plastic economy. 1. Support the consideration, active engagement, and collaboration of all stakeholders throughout the different stages of the plastic cycle. 2. Trigger a collective and individual shift in consciousness at business and consumer levels through the implementation of social and/or legislative measures. 3. Strengthen the interaction between the community and the private sector through CE credits or direct collaboration to ensure actors in the plastics industry bear responsibility for their products and potential waste, such as through EPR mechanisms. 4. Initiate consumers' behavior changes with regard to consumption, use, and disposal of single-use plastic products, contributing to initiating their phase-out through replacement by sustainable alternatives. 5. Implement community-based actions for waste processing and entrepreneurship before it reaches a recycling facility or landfill. 6. Engage communities in the conversion of plastic waste through inclusive recycling, upcycling, downcycling, and/or energy recovery. Addressing the various stages of the plastic cycle, the principles can serve as basis for circular economy initiatives implemented at the local engagement level. The MARPLASTICCs initiatives should not be looked at in isolation, but instead as a component of the whole project. For instance, whilst waste prevention and management at the local engagement level is addressed through these initiatives as part of the capacity pillar, elements of the plastics industry dimension and of the consumption by citizens dimension are being addressed through the policy and business pillars. IUCN has also already undertaken nationwide hotspotting assessments of plastic leakage in 3 countries of Kenya, Mozambique, and South Africa, thanks to the knowledge pillar. When considered jointly, the 4 interconnected pillars therefore bring a comprehensive contribution to the plastic cycle. IUCN's experience in implementing circular economy initiatives has resulted in developing an effective model that addresses the social equity gap often persisting in circular economy through community-based actions aimed at reducing plastic leakage into the marine environment. The hallmark of the concept is the promotion of collaborative actions of civil society with government and the private sector to address locally relevant waste management issues within a common framework. As such, all the plastic waste managed through the circular economy initiatives supported by MARPLASTICCs has been prevented from reaching a doomed fate in the marine environment.